There. All right, got that. Dot the I's. I's dotted. Yep. I's dotted. T's are crossed. And it's so good to be back, folks. How you doing? If you're new viewers, for all intents and purposes, the channel, when it goes live, it's called the Tribal Forum. I'm Michael Noland. The name of the channel is Michael Noland, The Bottom Line. We've gotten a few new subscribers lately. From my latest video, I'll get to that in a minute. And so, if this is your first time here, you might be asking yourself, what is a tribal forum? Well, first of all, tonight is Tribal Forum 107. One of you said in the comments that this is really, truly a special edition for the Tribal Forum, and it is. This tonight represents the culmination of the most work in a 2-week period that I've ever done in the history of this channel.
They're saying it's dark, hon.
Oh my goodness. All right,
I
folks.
see nothing, they're saying.
Yeah.
Just
All
make
right.
sure you...
Yep. There we go. So sorry. All right. I'm going to start all over. We'll just start like this is just a regular episode, okay? And then if I can go back in and trim that section off, I will do so. All right, folks. I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line. And tonight is Tribal Forum 107, okay? What we're going to be talking about tonight is the culmination of the most work, as I said before, that I've ever done in a 2-week period in the history of this entire channel. All right, I've been taking your input, despite some of you feeling like I was representing bands for myself. And we're going to be talking about that in here just a second, all right? But with this poll, a 26-part poll, that may be the longest poll that I've ever had. It's a poll that not only has received 30,000 votes, okay? So this is no small poll, folks. This, it might be the number one poll. I had a feeling when we did my poll on picking the top 13 bands that belong on Mount Rock Olympus, and if you're new to the channel, hang with me because I'm going to explain what they were, how they fit into this and everything. All right, that was a big poll. And I tend to think that one went over 30,000 as well. And we got a good 27,000 votes on the top 25 guitarists of rock and roll. And that fits into the tale tonight. All right, I am going to cover more tonight than I have an allotted amount of time to cover, really. So I think on Wednesday, I'm going to choose a main topic. I always stream on Sundays and Wednesdays at 5 p.m., all right? And that's my, though I do that so, because I'm getting complaints from some of you that you've been unsubscribed or that your notifications are turned off, and there's nothing I can do. That comes from the YouTube side, folks. I wouldn't run my channel like that, right? I don't unsubscribe, folks. You don't agree with me and you subscribe to my channel, you know what that means to me? That you're at least open-minded. I love it. I love people like that. I don't like carbon copies of myself as friends. You know, a good buddy of mine is Royce. I saw you out there, bud. And by the way, Royce is from the Four Horsemen. Put a little colon in there as you type that out. And then one word, Royce in the house. Okay? Royce, in the house. One word. There you go. And you can see me later on his stream. We're going to be talking about Chuck Berry. Okay? As I recall, we'll get into Chuck Berry because Chuck Berry fits into tonight's episode as well. So, what a prelude to a great panel. Royce, the Four Horsemen indicates there's four of us up there. We man a four-person panel up there. That helps with the visuals. You know, you ever get on one of those streams, they got 9 people up, yeah, and you know what? You have to pinch them out on your phone so you can see who's talking. That's nonsense, right? And a lot of people watch us on their TV.
Oh, my
I saw
goodness.
that out of the corner of my eye.
Goodness.
One of
my
our tribal
goodness.
elders, or
Yes.
oh no, this is
Storm Cup. This
Storm
is
Cup.
Storm Cup.
Okay, I want.
Woohoo,
He sent
Storm
us
Cup. He sent 5 gift memberships.
5.
Oh, thank you, Storm Cup.
Oh
You're
my
always,
goodness! All right,
always
Storm
so
Cup.
wonderful,
You know what?
so supportive.
I'm sorry you're being iced out there, brother. I saw that. He's had a tough, extended year. You know, I mean, we're into February,
I
right?
know.
And it was early last year that the brother had to suffer 2 tornadoes, one severely damaging property, and
I know.
the other taking its toll, and then he wound up in the hospital. You know, Storm Cop and his name is James. I won't say his last name. I'm aware of him. We'll email each other from time to time, right? And James is the very first person to really, well, he's the first person to give me a super thanks a second time. I think I may have had 2 super thanks before him. People I never heard from again, but they, you know, whatever the video gave to them, it was their way of saying thank you. And I wasn't even gearing anything toward that. And I think both of them were like for $2. And Kimberly can tell you, when I got them, I felt like king of the world.
I know.
My video just made $2 more than it will on whatever limited commercials I got at the time. I was still struggling to get to 1,500. I had to be at least at 1,000 to get monetized. And don't ever listen to a content creator tell you that they didn't do it to get monetized, because the second they got monetized, they didn't have to do it. Okay? I'm quite clear about this. Folks, this is what I do for a living. I'm retired. I'm a retired psych nurse, okay? And that was the last 25 years of a career that I trained for and everything. I'm a recovering alcoholic. And I took that my sobriety dead seriously. And part of it was to get accepted into a nursing program that the state, who was helping me out financially to recover, okay? Voc Rehab here in California. And they had a note, you know, don't send us alcoholics or drug addicts. You know, if you've got somebody who needs to be retrained because of an injury, that's fine. And Lorraine there, and I won't supply her last name, was the first angel, the third angel I met in helping me to reestablish my sobriety. And that was from, so it's 36 years now. It'll be 37 years in October. All right. So, I also worked for 8 years for Loomis Armored Car as a courier, didn't carry a weapon, but had in my possession, I felt it was an honor, because in my vehicle, which was marked up like a police car and everything, we wore the uniform, right? We were just unarmed. And you had to check in, in the barn every so often and let them know what your ETA is to the. I had every key of every single Wells Fargo bank, all right, in
Yeah.
my possession 24 hours 7, right? And that did my ego good. I felt like because I'm worthy of that trust, I will not abuse that trust. It's like I'm, I'm one of those guys,
Oh
man.
my goodness
I
sakes,
thought I saw
hon.
something.
Oh, Mr. Royce in the
Royce,
house just came in
your
with a
blessed
super thanks.
brother. Oh my
Royce,
goodness.
you're
Thank you
always
so
so
much.
wonderful too.
Could
Thank
you read his
you.
comment for me?
Oh yeah, I sure can. Let me
Oh,
just.
and before you do that, let me
Uh-huh.
finish this, Royce. So, James, he knows this is what I do for a living. I'm retired. I've still got plenty of energy. And I've all, throughout all of my regular day jobs, I always had a band. And early in my life, that's all I had, right? Thank God my
Right.
wife worked at the time, and not that wasn't Kimberly. That
Yeah.
was my first wife, but she worked, and the little bit I brought in maybe paid the groceries, if I was gigging. It was a tough time. So I've been a professional musician. I'm a singer songwriter, right? So all of that is faded in. I'm also a martial artist that I took up after I quit drinking and everything. I all of a sudden I had a valid state medical license. I was a second degree black belt. I was in a band and we recorded kind of a homemade album, and I sold enough off that album to more than pay for the production and the equipment that I purchased to create it. So those are all the victories for me. I never had a number one song. I never had a number 100 song. I never had a song that ever hit the billboards. But some of you have heard my stuff. My tribal members, all right, the elders and the chieftains can listen to some of my stuff. And I've put out the embarrassing stuff right along with at least 10 to 12 top notch songs, and I'm okay with the production. A couple of them are of me and this guy I know, Garth O'Brien, that we were known as Area 51, and we did a worldwide broadcast. So I've got video of that, but you can imagine this was 2008 when we did that. And my son was using what he had for a digital device. I think it was a camera that could shoot video. And back in 2008, you didn't get resolution. And he was stuck in the back. And if you ever watch those videos, folks, you'll see the camera zooming in and awkwardly and people in front of him. And that was the best we could do. This was a weekly TV show and very much supported at the Russian River in Guerneville there, and a big artistic community, right? And so to even be asked to do the show was quite an honor, solely on the demos I made of just me on the guitar, and they decided go for it, right? So I loved it. And the show didn't go smoothly at all. So that's my background. So I needed to let you know because on the tribal forum, folks, I serve as tribe master. I am the tribe master to what I call the tribe. Who are the tribe? And then I want you to read Royce's note here in just a second,
Okay,
baby.
hon.
The tribe is anybody who views my videos and makes a comment. You've joined the tribe, right? If you just view my videos, feel welcomed into the tribe at any time. Come on in, make a comment. That's all it takes, right? You don't have to agree with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You have to be respectful, all right? I've removed less than 10 comments since I've been on YouTube, and I have hundreds of thousands of comments since I've been on YouTube. Okay, so outright trolling will not be allowed. and I banned them. That goes for tonight, right? We don't entertain trolls. Guys, we're just going to have some fun tonight. And I know this is a long intro, which means I got to cut off some of the stuff I usually cover. All right. You know we have tribal merchandise. I thank you guys for hyping my videos. You really did me a great service on this latest video, which anytime I hit 5,000 views or more, and right now it's at 5.2, 5,200 of you watched it. And it's doing real well. Got a few subscribers. That's why at the beginning of this stream, I was welcoming any new viewers because new subscribers might, test out the channel. And if you're here for the first time, dip your toes in, say hi. My first time, just wanted to say hi. You don't have to engage any further than that. Of course, you're welcome. Because you see this conversation going that my wife and my producer and my off-screen co-host.
In that order. Yeah.
Yeah, in that order, let's see.
Yeah, your wife first.
Wife first.
Yep.
Producer, that
'Cause
was your
that's
first.
how we
and
roll.
then we started miking you up because they started hearing you off mic.
I know.
Respond. And so we invested, people like Royce here just gave us how much did he give us?
Oh, he gave us $20.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Royce, you are so
even
wonderful.
ones that give us $2, I think that's the lowest thing you can click on. We love those. We have a special term for those. And
always
we
so
call them
supportive.
deuce hammers. You get enough of those.
Yeah.
And, that's what finances what you see around me. The lighting. I use rechargeable batteries. That's always a concern with the type of lighting I have all the time. So studio maintenance. Sometimes, for example, I invested part of you, and this is an upcoming thing I want to deal with because McCartney's new movie's coming out, right? And I invested a part of what you guys donated into getting the new Wings book, all right? So I'll take portions of it, very, just a bit here, a bit there, and it keeps the channel going financially, all right? There was a time before views and subscribers and notificationers were being taken off the channel. There was a time at the beginning of this channel that I wasn't even concerned about people giving me anything, to kind of support the channel or anything. I had great views. One of my big videos, I've never had what you call a truly viral video. If you look at the term, what is a viral video? That usually means 1 million or more. That 1 million, if you think of anything that you would produce, a lot of you are co-creators out there or co-content creators. I know people from other channels. Paul from Psycho's Platters is occasionally in.
Dan, just the facts man.
Dan.
Yeah.
Yep, Dan and Royce.
And
all
Royce in the
But
house,
it goes
the
way
Four
beyond
Horsemen.
that. Every once in a while, Joe Mayo sticks his head in. And I watch his whether I type anything, Joe, or not. And speaking of that, before I get into this, but I wanted to thank you all for that. And I'm going to, on Wednesday, spend a lot of time in shouting out all of you who did my very last stream, like I always did. But I got all of you already in my latest video there at the end. And I wanted to thank you. It was almost like an extension to my birthday party from last Sunday. We celebrated my birthday last Sunday, folks. And that's why I wanted to say happy birthday to Doc Insomnia.
And
All right.
Joseph Blue.
Oh, Joseph.
Joseph, too.
Oh, we've got a whole ton of us
birthdays.
Aquarians out there.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah. I just barely nudged into the Aquarian sign, and I love Aquarius. I love being an Aquarian. I don't believe in astrology.
Well, we don't practice that.
But when I
Yeah.
was a young man, I looked into it. You
Yeah.
know, it was I was raised in a Baptist church. You know, then I got into teenage mischief. Right when my brother and I were accused of taking something from one of the ladies, getting into her purse at the church, and that was when I stopped going to church. Right. And so I was open to all kinds of things. You know, I was watching, listening Pink Floyd, opening that gate, seeing those pyramids, you know. So I was into the pyramids, always been into study. What's that, baby?
Oh, I was just saying we were going to read
Right,
Royce's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead, and
I've got it.
I'll continue with that, and
I've
then we're
got
going to
it.
get it right into the meat of the matter because I got a ton of material to cover. We may have to go right nudging up to Royce tonight. So if I'm up a little late, Royce, I'll be there within minutes, okay? But this is too important. All right, go ahead, babe.
Oh, okay. Royce says, Michael, I appreciate all of your hard work on Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. I've never seen anything like it, brother.
Yeah, thank you,
Oh,
Royce.
that's so nice,
And I left you a
Royce.
few messages, and I deleted them this morning when I saw you hadn't got to them later, as of yet. And all that I was talking about was like yesterday's news. It had nothing to do with what I thought you'd even be interested in hearing from, brother. All right? Royce and I communicate all the time together. We're best buds, and I've always appreciated his support. And truly, folks, I believe in Royce and the Four Horsemen. I believe in that channel. You think that I would be up there week in, week out, just based on friendship? I love you, Royce. But if I felt like, well, this is a waste of time, I might show up occasionally, you know. Well, he's my buddy. I'd like to call him. But no, I love his concept over there. And tonight we get to talk about Chuck Berry, and we're going to talk about him in a few minutes. All right, so let me just give you a prelude here, and let's get on with this thing. And I'm sorry for the long intro there. So the votes are in. I've already taken screenshots. The poll is now officially closed. However, I'd like any of you who could do this without leaving the stream, go to my post page, and I'm giving you the most, let me just get a complete refresh here, folks. Nothing like getting a complete refresh.
Oh, my goodness, hon.
What's that, baby?
Beast LVX just came in with a super thanks.
Dudes.
Oh, Beast, thank you so much.
Well, let us know how much and what he says, because I'm off that screen right now. Thank you, dudes.
$9.99.
$5.99?
$9.99.
$9.99.
Yeah.
A $10. You just say $10, baby. That's
Okay.
That's a 10 spot, brother. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
awesome.
to Royce, you know. Oh, and to by the way, Storm Cop leads the pack. I didn't mention that him buying those new subscriptions, which should have already shot out at you. If nobody has taken them because they didn't know what it was, let me explain what it is and grab them. It's a 1 month free membership. So for 1 month at least, you are one of the tribal elders. All right. The tribal elders, the tribal chieftains, those who financially support this channel, key members and key, like I talk a whole lot to 48 Musician. All right. And I just love him. He doesn't come over here. He's not on these streams. And there's a lot of you out there that don't. But there's a ton of you just on my regular videos alone. All right. Which is how that's how I established the channel. And some viewers are just, that's it. That's what I want to see from you, Michael. I don't want to see you live. I like your more smoother presentations that's edited in the right way so that what you're saying makes sense. And that's about it for me. And I love the man. And 48 Musician, his name is Roger. We're on first name basis. A whole lot of you have supported me. All right. Now, did you read that one?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Beast LVX says, May the true Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame rise up and stand as a beacon of excellence,
Yes.
letting all know who passed by that true fans of this genre took a passionate stand to what real music is.
There you go.
Amen, amen.
All right.
That's
I'm
true.
looking at my time. I think I've got just enough to cover this. All right. So strap in. We're about ready to announce the top or the whole Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame roster tonight. All 90 of them. All 90. And I'll explain that to you in a minute. But this poll, I said I've cut it off. But this latest poll, I'm going to look to see. Yep. All right, folks. You've got, I'm going to, as I go through my intro here, before we start covering these names, and baby,
Yes.
I really need your help on focusing how I do this.
Okay.
I'm going to do an intro. It'll be about 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
And I want all of you who haven't voted to go over to the last remaining open poll. And the reason I'm doing this, I
Yeah.
told you folks that it doesn't matter if a band wins or loses by 1%. They're either in or they're out by 1%. All right? And this is the first time in the poll, the very last part of a 26-part poll. This is part 26, for goodness sakes. And Aerosmith right now, first of all, we have AC/DC. We have Aerosmith in second place and Iron Maiden in third place, but at 19%, a mere 1% less than Aerosmith. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to go over and change your votes. I know some of you have been telling me in the comments. By the way, we had over 1,250 comments. I read every single one of them. That's how important this is. If you got a thumbs up and a heart from me, that means I read your comment, okay? And on top of that, a few of you, more than a few of you, I even responded to, but that's impossible. When you're concurrently trying to answer people who are with you live through your wife, or when they see your stream on replay, to keep up with those comments and get to them. One of my latest streams, not the last one, but the one before, I never got to the comments. And part of the reason is I put out a steady flow of regular content as well as members only videos. So you guys know that I've tried to communicate with you. And a lot of you in those comments said, like for example here, they go, well, I'd vote for AC/DC, but I know they're going to win. So I chose, I don't know, Metallica, who's dead last. When I first did this, I go, this is going to be a toss-up between Metallica and AC/DC. And the one, as a matter of fact, Aerosmith took an early lead, and then Iron Maiden not only caught up, but took like a 7% lead at one point, and now they are 1% apart. Now I'm going to leave this page, and baby,
Yes.
as I go through this warm-up to the announcement of the roster, okay, bring me back and then tell me, refresh that page, okay?
Okay.
All right, so like I said, the votes are in, with the exception of the latest poll, and you have a few minutes to play your game of chess over there. All right, who do you want to support? Because it's so tight, I don't mind calling it right now. But since we're live, and I thought, let's keep this part of the poll going, and you could maybe, if you want, Aerosmith to be overtaken. Enough of you vote that way. It could be Iron Maiden that takes this, right? Or some of you are going, oh God, Iron Maiden's that close to Aerosmith. I'm going to change my Aerosmith, or my I almost said it. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. Anyway, and doing it. So play your game of chess while I go over this. like I said, over 1,250 comments. At about, this is the number I had 2 hours before, and it's now well into like 3 hours since. We were at 29,600 votes. I can safely say the poll has reached 30,000 votes. That's no small poll, folks. That's no small poll. You have achieved a voice. You folks, right now, that I'm looking at, all of you had a voice in this. And a couple of the instigators in there, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're
there
trying to get
sure
me
was.
to do some sort of 3D rendition type of thing. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
You know what it was? It was Storm Cop.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Storm Cop.
He comes in and says, you know what would be a great idea
I
is if
know.
we had a virtual representation of this mythical, but it's not, and he didn't use that word. I used to introduce the concept, and this will be part of my introduction. Where did all of this start? Well, I started a channel that had nothing to do with rock and roll. Then but I gave you my background, right? And the Beatles, Peter Jackson, I was a fan of his, the Lord of the Rings thing, and that thing he did with Michael J. Fox, what was that called? Anyway, I liked what he did, and what he did was a miracle of a movie, you know, because even though it's missing vast amounts and everything. So when he was connected to the Get Back and they were going to extend it and everything, I mean, I'm one of those Beatle fans. I still have my bootleg copy of Let It Be, the original version. Matter of fact, I might have two. All right, so when it was announced that way, to me, I'll tell you what. Let's stop. I want to stop there. I want to get on to this because I'm going to lose time. That clock is staring me in the face here, folks. All right. So how we got here in 2022, when I finally got. See, I was going to get way down in the history of my channel. So when I finally turned over to that. Peter, the Peter and Beatle movie was the instigator. I did a one-off video. I was a tech-oriented channel. I wasn't talking about rock and roll, even though it was, I like rock and roll more than I like following tech, and I love tech, right? So when they did that, I did it, and it was the first video that ever got 1,000 views. So I was in cloud nine, and by the time February 15th come along, which is in 2 weeks now, 14 days left after tonight, baby.
Yep.
All right. We are 2 weeks away from starting. We're in the final 2 weeks of season 4.
Woohoo.
That's how, I mean, we've hit 13.2 million views.
That's right.
And, you know, I had views before, obviously, February 15th, 2022. But that wouldn't even account maybe even for 1% of the views that I've gotten off this channel, right? So the vast majority of that 13 million point 200,000 plus, right, has always come from when I turned into a rock channel. So that's why we celebrate February 15th around here. And then I do a smaller celebration every October 28th because that's the first YouTube video that I ever made. And you can go back and watch all these videos when I didn't know shit about Shinola. At any time, they're all there. The channel has 1,600 videos to look at. It would take you a year or two to catch up and still watch my current content. All right, so in 2022, when we got there, I made what I said was my Mount Rock Olympus top 13 bands of classic rock. And make no mistake, this channel stays into classic rock, and usually, and that was one of the prerequisites of the poll, with a couple of exceptions. And there was the last 22 of those polls held to this because Michael Boswell was, and he's welcome to do this. I welcome Michael Boswell to disagree with me all the time. And he felt like maybe I was tilting this poll in my favor somehow. And I want to let you know, for every one of these categories, I had probably 60% input into what was chosen, and only because so many of you agreed with me and wanted those bands anyway. All right? Because I told you guys, you give me enough people. For that one stream I was looking, if 3 of you had nominated somebody, I would have pulled somebody off my list and put yours up there. This started really small. And I have run this poll as honestly as anybody can. I can't imagine running it more honestly. Cross my heart, hope to die. All right? So there's been no shenanigans. And most of these bands were either heavily wanted by you or specifically wanted by you. About 40% of them were specifically wanted by you. And I just took my bands off. All right? I've still got a list of 25 bands that I would have liked to have seen on this. But like I said, I came prepared to go with my field, but publicly invited you to join in on the process because that's how I did my 13 bands. And now we're going to get into what's going on because we're also going to be announcing, if you noticed my thumbnail, if you looked at it closely, what did it say? Besides the title, what other information was on there? Did you see the star system or the tier system? Right? I want to thank Divining Dragon, who had a great idea. I just couldn't go in that direction totally because of how I set this whole thing up. And Divining Dragon and Storm Cop are another 2 instigators that got me started with this, with the support of about 20 more of you, strongly. But they're the ones that they're good at putting the bug in the ear of the tribe. I give them that. Those guys cost me so much homework, baby.
I know.
They do.
I know. But it's great. It's great. I love the idea.
No, I love it. I like being pushed.
I love it.
I like being pushed. And if I feel like I can't accomplish something, I'll let you know. I have constraints, time constraints, what I need to do with this channel. I did have another idea, a channel that I could open up dedicated to the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame and do separate videos on that. What do you guys think about that as a starting idea? And yeah, I guess I'll look into animation. Oh, God. I don't know. It's maybe too late to teach this old dog a new trick.
Oh, Michael.
But just to prove I'm alive, baby.
Bite your tongue.
I know.
Bite your tongue.
All right. So if you notice that there was a bronze section, all members that I will be reading off will be receiving a bronze virtual statue. And I'll send it via my telepathic mind to them. At this point, I'm still toying with a couple of ideas. I don't want to let this go, all right? Because we're going to do this at the end of this year to catch up. And let me explain why. It was 2022 that I put out that first list. That list brought in tons of subscribers because I mainly focused on videos of those 13 bands. I'd occasionally color outside the lines at that time, but primarily that was a good grouping of bands, the amount of albums I could cover, their stories and everything to get started. And I'll tell you what, the channel got so busy, I still haven't done all 13 of my original bands justice, not by a long shot. So that's my promise, to start looking at some of these bands and give you stories around what's going on or how they got to a point. And not only that, in my analysis, I will always give you why this was either important or
Oh
destructive
my
to
goodness.
rock. Okay?
Michael Boswell hit the deuce hammer,
Oh my
hon.
goodness.
Michael,
All right,
thank
I'm so
you.
glad. See what I'm talking about? Michael and I can disagree. And I gave you a good explanation in your comment, Michael. And he's one of the ones like I said, I read all 1,250 plus. It might be up at 13, 14 by now. I quit counting, a long time ago, but I read them all. And uh, when and also Michael is a tribal elder. And I always try to respond when I see, his gold star or a red star or a blue or a green
Oh my
star. I
goodness.
know that they are,
Oh
and one
my
of the things
goodness.
that tribal membership gives you is priority response from me. Okay.
Oh my
Now I don't
goodness.
go looking for them first, but as I come through, I go, okay, they're
Woohoo.
gotta response. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, and you read that, right?
Dan, just the facts man, came in with a super thanks.
Dano.
Thank you, Dan. But no, we didn't get Michael Boswell's comment.
Well, read his, and then I'd like you to give
Okay,
Dan a good shout out. I'm not on that page, so let me know how much each one of these are and read them,
Michael
okay?
hit the deuce hammer and he said you could call it, another channel, the real Hall of Fame. I agree, Michael.
Yeah.
Great idea.
You know what?
I like that, the real.
Yeah, I almost envision this, Michael. He goes, yeah, see, he's always toying with my ideas. But why not something like the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame, and then in parentheses, directly under the Hall of Fame part, comes the real
Oh,
Hall
Dan.
of Fame. I'm bodacious enough to do it. You know I am, baby.
I know.
See, I've got people out there going, what the hell is Noland up to? You didn't think I knew about you folks, huh?
Oh, goodness.
Well, since you've been limping on the opinion of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for so long, review the last 10 years and then shut up, okay? If you don't like what I have to say. They're doing it wrong. There's all kinds of reasons. I've done many, and I have playlists. Go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame playlist, and I've done many videos, many streams on them. They've failed, and this is in response to that. Now, I did my first one, right, 13. Then in 2022, I put it up for a vote. That was the one I told you also got 30,000, right? And you guys voted 4 of my bands. 2 of them are back on, right? And handsomely so, I think both there. There were disappointments for me on this. I'm a fan of all these bands, right? All right, so you got to vote on that, all right? And so that they are being grandfathered. There is 13 of the 90 bands that I have promised you tonight. And if you're not familiar with them, I will read them off first because they, by being grandfathered in, have been in, I'm backdating the the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame to 2022 when it became your vote. They've been in the longest by that back date. Hey, it's my tribe. I make the rules. All right, unless you guys don't like them and you tell, yeah, you're an idiot, Michael. I'm open to the discussion, right? But as tribe master, sometimes you just kind of got to exercise some authority. And these are the ones you voted on. One way or another, I've already explained. Each of these have been voted on by you folks. Go to my last stream where I explain that whole process. They're all voted on by you, all of these. All right, here we go.
Oh,
And these are the only ones that will be ranked. Everybody else will be in a clump underneath them as we add them. These are the 12, no, 13. Remember, Mount Rock Olympus or Mount Olympus had 3 brothers, right? So there were the 12 gods of Olympus, and Hades made 13. It was my way of getting a 13th band in there. I've said it, I was looking for a baker's dozen, right? But you voted on these. And in 13th place, but the top of all top bands that will ever induct is Grand Funk Railroad. You voted for them. They were in my top 20, top 15 actually, but missed it by that much on my original list, and you took off Steely Dan. All right? And I looked at it and I go, miss my Steely Dan, but Grand Funk's got to be on this list. See, my tribe is wiser than me, folks. All right, at number 12, Genesis.
Oh,
Number 11, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
yay.
Number 10, yeah, she loves them. I do too.
Oh,
good
I like
Lord.
them all.
Oh, well,
Gosh.
John Fogerty's even contacted the channel.
I know, huh?
You know, because
Yeah.
I did a video where I was praising the fact that he got his songwriting
That's right.
powers back for his material. You know, as a fellow songwriter, just try and separate me from my babies.
Yep.
And he came back and gave us a comment and everything. And John, if you're ever watching, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I really do. All right, so they were voted in on. They weren't on my original list. They were number 14. All right, they were the one that just barely missed it. I'm a huge, matter of fact, I always was in an original band, but I can guarantee you, we'd do 6 Creedence Clearwater songs
Oh, yeah.
a night.
Oh,
You know,
iconic.
couple
band.
of Bad Company, 3 or 4 of the Bad
Oh,
Company
God,
tunes,
yeah.
a few of the Eagles,
Yep.
and then the rest was my material.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it, and that's how we survived and made money when most original bands didn't. Now, when we'd play long gigs where you're not repeating everything and everything, we did a lot more of my stuff when we could get away with it. But to make money, that's what you had to do in the day. So congratulations to CCR. Then at number 10 is Queen. Number 9, yes, but these guys were vying along with the Police and Queen for the number 4 spot. You voted them in at number 9, yes. I was just glad they were on there. They are the toppermost of the poppermost for this brand new Hall of Fame that you and I are creating tonight, because I still got to get over and close this poll. Then we go to the new nominations, all right? So let me finish this up. I'm going to go over and look at that poll, and even 1% wins it tonight, folks. Okay, so after yes, Rush, all right, not on my original list. They were about number 16, 17 for me. I'm so glad they are, because I saw that. I started covering them, and the more and more I listened to them, albums that I miss, I'm becoming a major Rush fan. So you did me a service by voting one of my guys out, right, and voting this one in. It enhanced my knowledge. I love that.
I know.
Okay, Black Sabbath is at number 7. Deep Purple is at number 6. The Who is at number 5. The Rolling Stones at number 4.
Wow.
Pink Floyd at number 3.
Woohoo.
Led Zeppelin at number 2. And
Led
the freaking
Zeppelin.
baby Beatles, baby.
Of course. I knew
number
you were
1.
going to say that. The
All right.
Beatles.
All right, so there are your top. They are now officially inducted in and backdated to the year 2022. 2023, we added guitar players, didn't we? All right, these are in order. If you want the order, go to my more. Just go to my channel page and click more. These are the 2 lists that are available now. So also being inducted will be, I'll tell you what, there's a better way to cover this. You guys can read that list, because they were inducted. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's just keep it there, because I want to go over them each and why it's so significant to the thumbnail I was talking about. A multi-tiered Hall of Fame. And I got the idea from Christian, man, Divining Dragon, all right? And it's not the total thing he wanted, but I'm always glad to call. This is what I'm saying. This tribal forum, right? And communication on my videos gives you power. I'm malleable in a way, got to stand my ground on certain things. But God, guys, if you come up with something great, I can't deny that. All right. So 2022 was my Mount Olympus. 2023, I should say, is when this list is being inducted in. All right. So we're going back, 3 years now. 2024, we added the guitar players. And then here is we're making up for 2025. That's why we're going to do this twice this year. The next one will not be this heavy duty. All right. But we will be adding 45 new inductees late in the year to catch up for 2026, because this is the Rock and Roll, the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame 2025. And so that's how we're going to catch up. After that, we're going to do it once a year. Okay? So that's where we go. And let's see, did all of that. Okay, so if anybody is inducted tonight, that is a Bronze Star level induction. They're in. Nobody's going to take it away from them. They are in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame.
Hey, can I read Dan's comment?
Oh, good Lord. Sorry, Dan. Yeah.
I don't want to forget Dan's comment.
Dan won't even talk to me
facts,
later
man.
on the Four Horsemen now.
Yeah.
He'll just go like this all night.
Oh, yeah. Dan says, I think one of the best things about this channel is that you do listen to your viewers and listen to suggestions. Too many other podcasts ignore their viewers.
Oh, wow.
I know. Isn't that true, Dan?
Well, that was Providence, what
Yeah.
happened just now. Or an unexplained
Yep.
synchronicity event here.
Yep.
See, I didn't get to his thing, but when you interrupted me, I was pretty much answering his thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But
See?
I wanted to read his
Dan and I,
comment.
we have this cosmic connection. But isn't that wonderful? And he gave us what now?
$20.
$20.
Oh,
I'm
my
not on the
goodness,
screen,
Dan is
Dan. I
always
wanted
so
you to get the shout
supportive.
out. Thank you, brother. You know what I feel about you. What a great channel. I've been including, he's got it's called a 360 view mini doc. All right, this is under 4 minutes. But you can follow him on his trip
subscribe.
to Birmingham as he goes through these exhibits. And you can move around. You can look behind him. You can look in front, to
I
the
know,
side.
it's incredible.
You can look on the ceiling, down on the floor. If you look down on the floor, you see Dan. I loved it.
Great
So I put
videographer.
a link to that in either my latest video or my very last stream, Dan.
Yeah.
But thank you for your support, brother. You know what I think about you. And Dan and I, unless Dan's still under the weather and still, he lost a pet, prayers and thoughts to you,
I
Dan.
know.
And he's been going through some cold weather down there,
We're
too.
right there
But
with you, Dan.
I hope to see you on the Four Horsemen later. All right, so if they get inducted a second time, it'll go to a silver status, a gold medal status 3 times, platinum 4, and the ultimate diamond at 5. And if we ever broke that record for any sake at all, I don't know, call it Magneto and Titanium Man level or something. I don't know, good Lord. But this is all just looking as forward as we can. Nobody tonight will get more than 2 inductions. And you're going, well, how is anybody going to get 2 inductions? I'm glad you asked. All right? Let's go down the list. First of all, grandfathered into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for their bands we've just read. Now, I'm going to take the top guitarist. Next time, we'll add drums or we'll add keyboards. But guitar is kind of like that. If you took one instrument that identifies rock, even over drums or bass or keyboards or sax, the electric guitar. Thank God for Les Paul. No, not the Les Paul model guitar, although Les Paul designed it. But he not only designed my favorite rock guitar of all time. I own one, right? It's an Epiphone, right? And I got it the year, it was the last year he was alive. It was important for me to get a model at that year. So, but he invented multi-track recording, and classic rock started, as many of you know, in my opinion, with the release of the Beatles' Rubber Soul album. My latest video talks about why the latest remarks from Giles Martin may indicate we're not going to get a Rubber Soul box set. And I think that's a drag. So let me read these guys as we go through. I wanted to get over, before we go over there, how are we doing on time? Boy, I'm going to have to push it. Okay, here we go. We'll clear this and get back to post. All right, and that'll help me identify who the winners really are. Let's see if anything changed. Okay, still the same. By 1%, Aerosmith
Whoa.
will be, and I'll read them off, and out of this,
Aerosmith.
AC/DC and Aerosmith takes the heat.
Awesome.
They are going into the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame.
Woohoo.
And I'll cover them as we cover who's made it here. All right, I'll mention them again. All right, so let's see. Yeah, let's do it in this level. Yeah, that'll make more sense. First of all, the brand new inductees to the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame, as voted in order, I think, pretty much. It doesn't matter. All right, we did a series of 26 polls. There were 2 winners in each poll. So that means 52 to the 13 that we have, which gets us to 65, is it? Let's see. And then you go to 70, 89. Yeah, 65. All right, so we've done the first 13. This is in no particular order. They were just voted in. I think I started with the oldest poll here. All right. They don't have any more authority over the very last band that I mentioned. Here's what 30,000 votes. 30,000 votes. This is a big poll. Here's what the people wanted. All right. You listening? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Here's what real people. And I will take the knowledge base of my viewers over every single one
They're the
of your
experts.
nomination panel.
They're the
John
experts.
Sykes.
Yep.
Here's the real experts, baby.
Yep.
Right here.
That's right.
And in their infinite wisdom, the following are now added to the original 13 to the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. King Crimson.
Woohoo.
For Prague, I believe. The Moody Blues, who was in my original.
The Moody Blues.
They were. I might have 3 tonight. They were in my original 13. They got voted out, and they may have been the one that missed it by 1 or 2 votes. You know, there were some near. You know, Creedence didn't take that 13th spot easily. There were like 3 or 4 bands that just barely, and Creedence just got like, it could have been 3 votes more, you know. All right, so the Moody Blues. Also for Prague, Jethro Tull.
Woo.
One of my original 13. You guys would have to tell me.
Oh,
boy, if they weren't, they were
the
number
Pied
14
Piper.
or 15. Yeah.
Yep.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
we got to that country acoustic southern type of band. It was one of the wider categories. All right. And the top 4 winners of that were Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Woo.
And I will reiterate that to Ann Young. For some reason, it may have said that, Ann Young, on the poll. I just got Crosby, Stills, and Nash. No, it'll be with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. I'll rectify that, all right? The Eagles and ZZ Top, baby.
Woohoo. Yeah.
Tom freaking Petty and the
Petty.
Heartbreakers.
Oh, love them.
Santana, the band.
Oh, you know I
Huh?
love Santana.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Chicago Transit Authority.
Awesome.
They're in. How
Awesome.
about Sly and the Family Stone?
Gotta have Sly in the Family
You know, Royce
Stone.
and I been we did a couple of videos where Sly was in the conversation. Tons. We may have done 2 or 3 or 4 videos where he just keeps coming up. Both Roy and I love Sly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lucky bastard got to see him. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh man, I thought I'd get a woohoo out of you.
Woohoo for sure.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Because see, we also did a soul, and she saw the winners of that, and she goes, "No Earth, Wind, and Fire." I go, "Oh no, they were nominated as a horn-based band, right?
Just
and
one
so
of the
they won it there.
soundtracks of my
So if they hadn't won it there, I guess I could have included them. But there was no need, you know. God, as far as soul bands, horn bands. Let's see, out of the horn bands that were listed here, Chicago would be probably my top one. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Then Sly, probably. Earth, Wind, and Fire kicked ass, folks.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Now, this was the big surprise of all time.
Okay.
This is my happiest moment. Look, I'm giddy as a little schoolgirl,
Uh-oh.
folks.
I wonder what that means.
It means Uriah Heep is in.
Okay.
Oh, I am.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've made videos saying, "Hey, look, it's not the unholy triad of rock, which is Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Black Sabbath. I say it's the quad, you know, structure there, and I've always include Uriah Heep. All right, now all 3 of those bands I just mentioned, I like a little bit better than Uriah Heep, but not by much. Not by much. Got introduced to them with the Demons and Wizards album just because of the freaking album cover. I was at the record store. I go, this has got to be good, right? And Roger Dean art, man, it's got to be good. I was already a Yes fan. You know, sign me up for that. So great job. And it was probably the lowest ranked second place that gets the nomination also. All second places got a nomination as well as the first place, right? It was the lowest ranked, but they're in. They don't have to endure the hell anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, then we've got the Jimi Hendrix Experience as a band.
Yeah.
The band, the Jimi Hendrix
Absolutely.
Experience, and keep that in mind because I'm going to clarify this hierarchy we're talking about as far as the tier system to this Hall of Fame. The Doors are in. Thank God Steppenwolf is in. Take that, Rock
Oh,
and
yeah.
Roll Hall of Fame.
Steppenwolf.
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
We're going to be talking about Chuck Berry. Well, I beat you to the punch, Royce. Chuck Berry just got into, well, ours, yours, mine.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't beat you to any punch, did I? I mean, we are the tribe, brother. Chuck Berry is in. Little Richard is in. All right. Everly Brothers didn't make it. Okay, so all of these are early 50s rockers. There are 2 subgenres where I went outside the classic era from 1965 to 2005. All right, that's what my channel is concerned about, is that era primarily. I will cover the 50s from time to time. I will cover new bands from time to time. But I give my heart and soul to this artistic masterpiece known as classic rock that I feel needs to be saved, right? So the Everly Brothers were there for me, and they didn't make the cut. They couldn't compete with Little Richard. They lost to Little Richard specifically. Okay, and the reason that we were doing this, even though it's not classic rock, all of these artists, a lot of them dated and careers almost dead by the time the Beatles came, and the Beatles weren't exactly classic rock until Rubber Soul. So the Beatles kind of trip in both of these lanes, right? And so, but it's what led to classic rock. The other subgenre was the blues. And you could vote for any blues person you could think of. I tried to field it. I didn't hear a whole lot from you guys. Bessie Smith didn't make the final cut because of a late induction of a suggestion of another. And so that didn't have any time constraints to it. And the 50s, by merely being 50s
Oh, my
artists,
goodness.
breaks that time restraint.
Michael
Yeah, babe.
Boswell hit the deuce hammer again.
Oh my goodness.
hon.
Hi, Michael.
Aw,
Okay,
thank you,
again.
Michael.
Yeah, read what he has to say.
Michael says 50 to 65 are the true classic rock era, in my opinion.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? Especially if you're 10 years. See, I was the junior of the decade of people that listened to classic rock, or what I think, classic rock is, Michael. But I knew of the older group of those people. Say I was 17. They're 26 to 31. They were, the later 20s were starting to gravitate where they would become comfortable. And those people, as I was growing up, my best friend was Ozzie Davis. Rest in peace, brother. I miss you every day. And his sisters and their husbands loved Elvis, right? I had one of my very best friend, Jim Silvas, Hector Ramon, Jim James, Silvas Rivera III. All right, we just called him Jim, right? He was a major, Godfather of Soul kind of guy, James Brown, right? So I was aware of that. And I know there is,
I love
and
James
you are
Brown.
part of the classic rock, if that's where you line up, Michael, I don't know. Or maybe it's just you as a younger man saying, no, for me, it's that. And if it's that, that's cool. That's cool. But I have to kind of make something here, all right? So just maybe, broaden your willing, well, he proved that time and time again. No matter whether we agree or not, he comes back, and I appreciate that, brother. But that explains my approach here. All right, so then that's why you have the king of rock and roll himself in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Elvis Presley is in. Buddy Holly and the Crickets are in. I think it was Buddy Holly that beat out the Everly Brothers, actually. Then grunge favorites. Alice in Chains is in, my favorite grunge band of all time. Nay, one of my favorite bands. I don't even think of them as grunge that much anymore. But I am aware that that's the subgenre they came from. Soundgarden got a spot. Pearl Jam, up to about 4 albums, maybe
Woohoo.
4.5 albums. They were just great. I collected them. So they're in. And, of course, Nirvana is in the Mount Rock
Nirvana,
Olympus
yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Now we got down to solo artists. John Lennon is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. John Lennon is our very first recipient of a virtual silver statue to go along with his bronze statue. All right? 2-time inductee, John Lennon. Same thing can be said about Paul McCartney. 2-time silver level, 2-time inductee into the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame.
Woo-hoo.
All right? Each of them having a trophy for the Beatles, and each of them having a trophy for their solo career. Van Morrison is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right? Carole King is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the Yardbirds, damn straight, they better be. The Yardbirds, maybe the progenitors, if you think about it, of classic rock. Their whole approach is very pre-Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin sandwiches, a good 4 years after classic rock is established, and it expands it, right? I was so glad to see the Yardbirds, and they won by quite a bit. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble are in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. The Allman Brothers Band. Okay, who was I just talking about? Oh, to my brother Gary. And I recommended him watch or listen to the Allman Brothers Band live at Fillmore East. That's what turned me on to him. It certainly was, oh, I'm gonna be a rambling man. Yeehaw! No, not my kind of rock and roll, and a little too twangy of country for me. Never liked country twang. Okay? And I come from country musicians. My dad was a singer-songwriter, and my mom was his sometimes lead singer and harmony singer in his band. So I come from country stock, and I just never liked the twangy stuff. My parents loved him, right? So the Allman Brothers are in, and we did what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame didn't have the freaking guts to do, what they hinted that they would do. All right? So you're actually getting two bands for the price of one here, folks. Bad Company
Oh, Bad
slash
Company.
free.
Yeah.
All right? That was the option. And they won big. Very well done, Bad Company, and free. All right? Simon Kirke, Paul Rogers. Whoa. What a combination. All right, and then we got into the blues. Robert Johnson probably had the largest amount of votes out of this
Yeah.
whole thing. That's a no-brainer.
Yep.
What did he do? Did he reach 20 tunes in his entire career? Sad story there. But I don't want to linger on this. I want to get through this list because then we're going to start talking about more double inductions than just John Lennon and Paul McCartney. All right. So Robert Johnson, Howlin' Wolf, yeah. Muddy Waters, yeah. And B.B. King. Keep him in mind.
B.B. King.
Keep him in mind for the future of what's coming up here in just a second. All right, 6:14. I got to wrap this up. Electric Light Orchestra.
Hello, yeah.
The Guess Who? The Beach Boys. Fleetwood Mac. Steely Dan. Bob Marley and the Wailers. The Police. Yes, because they were knocked off of my original list.
Yeah.
Royce will be happy. Frank Zappa.
Oh, yeah.
Stevie Wonder. Otis Redding. Royce will be very happy. Marvin Gaye. I'm extremely happy.
Marvin Gaye. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Gotta
My
have
man, Marvin.
Gaye.
Yeah. He's my favorite soul singer of all time. Bar none. The Temptations are in. Cream. All right. Van Halen. AC/DC. And as of tonight, Aerosmith, the final inductee. And you guys had some power over that. And a lot of you may have just further voted and kept them from others voting for Iron Maiden to catch up. I don't know what happened. Okay, so that gets you to those bands. Now, the third set of inductees. The second biggest poll, and now probably if the original 13 and this recent poll are kind of tied around 30,000, this was the poll that would come in second place. If there's a tie for first, definitely third place. We had, I think, if memory serves, well over 25,000. It might have reached 27, 28,000 votes. It was a big one. All right. And this was guitar players. And it was it took me a week to go through this, not 2 weeks like this one. So here are the people that are being grandfathered in as well. And they are the final members of the 90-member roster of the Mount Rock Hall of Fame. And listen to some of these because there's some surprises coming. Joe Bonamassa. All right?
Oh, yeah, Joe Bonamassa.
I'm glad.
Oh.
Even if it was NPR that turned me on to him. Randy Rhoads is in. Royce will be so gratified for that. Jeff Beck is in. You know, the Jeff Beck group was one of the choices. They didn't win. I was disappointed, right? Robin Trower is in.
Ooh.
Prince is in.
Prince, yeah.
Johnny Winter, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Damn right. One of my,
right.
oh man.
The Winter
Top
Brothers.
tenor for me for sure. Dimebag Darrell is in.
Yep.
Dan, congratulations there, right? Mark Knopfler is in. Rory Gallagher is in. One of my top 10 and relatively high on that. Maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah.
7 maybe, right? But here's where the surprises start coming in.
Okay.
Jimmy Page is in and winner of a 2-time induction for Led Zeppelin and as a guitar player.
Yep.
Drummers are next, I think. Okay? All right. Stevie Ray Vaughan is in twice because he was inducted tonight with Stevie Ray Vaughan in Double Trouble as a guitar player. These are only them as their expertise at guitar and what they provided as a guitarist to us, folks. We're honoring the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't honor people for what they brought besides the band or who they were connected to. Just on an instrument alone, they made a dent in our rock gods, each and every one of them. All right? So, let's see. Don't want to go too far. So, Stevie Ray Vaughan, David Gilmour, he's in Pink Floyd. They're actually ranked at the third from the top at the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. All right, so David Gilmour, silver status. Eric Clapton, silver status. Cream won their spot. Jimi Hendrix, silver status, because he won his spot for the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which is a vote for the whole band. All right? Richie Blackmore is a silver trophy winner as well because he was in Deep Purple. Dwayne Allman receives 2 trophies because he was with the Allman Brothers, who you just these last 2 weeks have inducted by your current votes. Carlos Santana is a 2-time winner because you guys just voted the band Santana in, and Santana, the guitarist, goes in as well. All right, silver tier for Santana. Brian May goes in twice, both as a guitarist and with Queen. Eddie Van Halen gets a silver star tonight because you guys just voted Van Halen.
Van Halen.
And
classic.
Last year you voted him in as a guitarist. Tony Iommi is in twice, silver star winner from Black Sabbath because they're in. Terry Kath is a 2-time silver star winner. Boy, it's about time some love is given to freaking Terry Kath. In my top 10 of all guitarists, despite the fact that my brother Gary disagrees with me. All right, his list is good too, but he wouldn't rank him that high. He knows he's good, but he wouldn't rank him that high. All right, so Terry Kath, silver star winner, right? Billy Gibbons, also in with ZZ Top, silver star winner. B.B. King won Best Blues Artist tonight by you guys, and last year you voted him in as that good of a guitarist. He's a silver star winner. All right, 4 more. Lindsey Buckingham, 2-time winner. He was connected to Fleetwood Mac, inducted now. Stephen Stills, he was a winner, 2-time winner, because of him being with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. John Lennon, of course, I already mentioned, and Paul McCartney, each a 2-time winner. All right, I've never gone this late before. I managed to get it in. There was so much to say about this. And Wednesday, I'll have a main topic, and then we'll extend maybe the second half of that stream in to discussing what we talked about, and I can get your reactions, folks. So I invite you to be there. It'll be at 5 p.m. All right, I always stream every Sunday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Adjust your local times accordingly. And that's my way, because some of you are saying, I've been unsubscribed, so I'm not getting notifications. Or I'm subscribed, but my notifications are turned off. I never turned them off, right? Your feeds used to come into my homepage, but they're no longer being held. All right, the only thing I can control on my end is to give you a consistency of my live streams, right? And hope to God that you find my latest videos. Go check my latest one out. It's only about 5 minutes, and I've got about that much time to tear the equipment I got down because I stream on Royce on a different device. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for making this at least tied for the most successful poll I've ever done. 30,000 votes. You got a voice there. I mean, we're coming out of nowhere. All my detractors go, what the hell is this guy up to? Well, now you know. All right, folks, I'll see you on Wednesday. But before that, I'll see you in about 10 minutes up on Royce. Okay. It's called The Four Horsemen. If you didn't get all my information, go to my channel page, swing all the way down, and hit The Four Horsemen. It'll take you right to the channel. Click on the stream tonight, and you're there. All right, folks. Baby, thanks for all your help tonight and putting up with a manic
it's my
kind of guy.
pleasure.
But I had
love
far too
this
much
tribe.
information to share tonight.
Love this
All right.
tribe.
We love you, each and every one of you. Thank you for your super thanks. Thank you for your thumbs up. I don't even know how many thumbs up we even got tonight. But I appreciate each and every one of them. I'll tell you that. Let's see. Can't tell right now. It won't let me click in.
Oh, really?
All right, folks. I got to rush. All right? Speaking of Mount Rock Olympus award-winning Hall of Famer band, Rush. All right, folks. That's the best I could do in a minute here. Okay, see you over at Royce's. Love you guys.